What is up, my friends? How are we? You're very welcome along to Monday night's late night agenda, where, as always, I hope life's treating you well. I thought I'd play a little mind game with you tonight. I thought no song, because that usually means people think I'm going to come on ranting and being angry, so I just thought I'd shake it up a little bit. I'm in good form, as you can tell today. Always in good form when I get to come in and chat with you guys on a nightly basis. So, we're going to go through it all tonight. We're going to be asking, are we really in for Joshua Kimmich? There's a report out there to say that we are. We're going to talk through it. We're going to give you the very latest on Liverpool's pursuit of Tzimas, the striker. We're going to go through that and ask, what on earth is all this about and how likely is it to happen? We're going to give you the latest on Kyle Walker and his potential move to Real Madrid, according to, again, reports coming from Spain. That and everything else that you guys would like to cover over the course of the next 90 minutes or so. You know the drill. Let me know in the comments what you want to talk about and we will go from there. Yeah, good. I hope you're all in fine form, and again, thank you to everyone that's been supporting us over the past while as well. Yeah, much love to you all. Excited to be here with you. Right, let's get going. Loads to talk about. I want to start off with a bit of a funny one tonight. Transfer News Live have just posted something and they say Santi_J_FM has revealed stunning WhatsApp messages from Lyon owner John Texter talking about Ryan Cherky and his entourage. If you get a chance, go and have a little look at these messages. I like it. It's nice and blunt and to the point, and he's not, fair to say, John Texter isn't overly happy with the entourage of Ryan Cherky, and that's me being nice about it. So do have a Google of it yourself if you have a chance and look at the messages. They're quite funny. Izzy, how are we, my friend? Evening. Hope everyone's well. I'm good, Izzy. I'm good. Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow's game. Nervous about it, but also hopeful that we can get the result. And nice to see you back in. I hope you're well. Danny LaRue, how are you, bro? Said evening all. Hope you're all well. I'm good. Good, Danny. In good form today. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. And trying to figure out what I believe and don't believe in the media is a difficult one. Yeah. So let's go. I want to figure it out together tonight. That's what it's about. Jordan, how are you, my man? Jordan said, Argyle away in the FA Cup. I'm from Plymouth, but Liverpool till I die. Wish me luck cheering on from the home end. Good luck. Look, it's a great tie. It's an interesting tie. Arnott, I'm sure, is going to get a chance to rotate some of the players. And yeah, I was intrigued. Could have been a worse one, could have been a better one, but ultimately, I hope Liverpool book their place in the 5th round and we can get past. Actually, speaking about fixtures, let's just talk about the confirmed rescheduling of the Merseyside derby, because that news came out earlier on. The club announced a new time and day has been confirmed for a rearranged Premier League fixture against Everton at Goodison Park. The fixture will now take place Wednesday 12th of February with a 7:30 kick-off, and I believe the game is going to be shown on TNT Sport in the UK as well. So that is where we thought. Remember, we'd said to you guys it was probably going to slide in for the Champions League playoff week where we won't be involved because, you know, we're so good and all that. Actually, I want to talk about the new Liverpool shirt and an image that's been released today about that as well. So let me just grab that up on my screen. I forgot to add it beforehand, so apologies. Alright, I'll drag this here. Right, I'm going to bring up an image of the new Liverpool shirts and I want to know what you guys think about them, because if these are the ones, sign me up, take my money. Right, what do we think of those? Have a little look-see at that and tell me what you think. So they have been spoken about as being the legitimate shirts for the Reds for next season. And I tell you what, take my money, Adidas. Take my money. I love it. I love everything about it, to be honest with you. It looks sexy with the number 6 Champions League badge on the side of it as well. It would look even nicer with a 7 though, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. But yeah, I'll take that, Adidas. Thank you very much. So hopefully they are genuine and they do get confirmed, obviously, later on in the season. Unlike other seasons, Liverpool probably won't get to wear the new shirt for the last home game of the season, because when you're changing over manufacturers like that, they don't really want to see Liverpool potentially lifting the Premier League title in Adidas stuff. I'm sure Nike will want that last game, so I don't think we'll quite see it on the last day of the season, but, you know, that hasn't been confirmed yet. So, yeah, look, a couple of happy birthdays as well to kick us off. Our moderator-in-chief, Mark, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday to Mark from all of us at the channel and, of course, all your fellow moderators and commenters as well. And also, happy birthday to Lucho, who's 28 today as well. You've probably seen those videos on social media. So yeah, what are we saying on the shirt? I guess that's a first little fun poll of the night, isn't it? One sec. Right, so first question, do we like the leaked home shirt? We'll have a little tete-a-tete about that while we get stuck into the rest of the news. Right, so I want to get straight into the Joshua Kimmich stuff, if that's alright, because I know a lot of people are probably very interested in that one. It caught my attention because as I was reading this piece, it said Sky Sports in France are making the claim that Liverpool have a plan in place if Trent Alexander-Arnold saga comes to a conclusion that sees him heading to Real Madrid. So they say it's going to be like musical chairs, and Madrid would take the fullback from Liverpool, and in turn Liverpool would go and take Joshua Kimmich from Bayern Munich. This piece goes on to say that it would cost Liverpool £25 million if they wanted to sign Joshua Kimmich in this winter window. He can play fullback or in midfield, but that to me makes no sense. Like, you lose Trent, you're right back, and the musical chairs aspect of that would be to go and bring in Joshua Kimmich. I mean, if you're looking for a midfielder and you land on Kimmich, fair enough. But if you're looking to replace a right back, as this piece says, you're not going to go into the market and bring in 29-year-old Joshua Kimmich. That doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, it was a crazy one for me, but it's coming from Sky Sport in France, as I've mentioned. They say that if Liverpool do lose Trent, then the plan would be to go in and get Kimmich. But it still doesn't add up as to why we would go get Kimmich in January when Trent most likely isn't going to be going anywhere until the summer, unless they know something that we don't know. And I can't see a world where Liverpool let Trent leave in this market. I just can't. I think there's a couple of super chats I've missed that I want to get back through as well. Carl, how are you, my man? Kimmich number 6 sounds nice, could drive us to the league. So if I'd read the article, Carl, and it said Liverpool like the idea of bringing in Joshua Kimmich to supplement Ryan Gravenberch in midfield, I'd have been like, I can understand that. I still would have had my doubts about the amount of money that Liverpool would be spending on his wages, because, you know, he's a high earner, I believe, at Bayern Munich. But to see them talk about the kind of revolving musical chairs aspect of the right back situation, it just doesn't make much sense to me. What else have we got in the chat? Kimmich can play DM and then right back when needed. Yeah, but we need a right back if we lose Trent. Like, we have Bradley, but we need another right back, an actual right back, not somebody who can shoehorn in there. I might be wrong in this, but I just don't see a world that Liverpool sign Kimmich. But I wouldn't be upset if we did either. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think Joshua Kimmich's a fine footballer and, you know, incredible pedigree, played at the highest level for a very long time. It would just be a weird one. But again, this transfer window has been one where the topic of conversation around Liverpool has been a very, very strange one. Oh, look at Mark flexing his Irish muscles here again. I love it. Let me just get your comment up. So Mark said, Guramahagut for the birthday wishes, which is thank you for the birthday wishes in Irish. So well done, Mark, with his cúpla fucalash gaeilge. What's his injury history? Honestly, Jason, mate, I don't know off the top of my head. I haven't looked into it because I just don't see a world where it's real that Liverpool go for Joshua Kimmich. Now, going from... So you know what? I'm going to stay in the good news for a second. I'm going to stay in the positive stuff. You may have seen this, but it's been a lovely time for young Isaac Kearney, and his family posted today to say, as if the last few months haven't been crazy enough, look who turned up at our house tonight to have a sing-along with Isaac. And it was, of course, Mr. Jamie Webster, who rocked up to have a little sing-along with the young man. And look, I expect nothing less from Jamie. He is a class act. I've always said it about him. An absolute gentleman of a performer, a brilliant performer, and a class act and a top red as well. And I don't mean that in the derogatory top red sense. I mean that from the heart. A good guy and beautiful. I love this stuff. Just makes your heart sing on social media. So again, I expect nothing less from Jamie Webster. He's a class act, so well done to Jamie Webster, and of course young Isaac as well. Just a lovely little feel-good moment. Liz, how are you? Let me get on to Nick's comment first. Kimmich was one of the best in his position and is a serial winner, but might not fit the age profile. I like the idea of it as a balance. You know, we lost Thiago, and Thiago's signing was a similar kind of age profile one. I would want the number a bit less than 25 million, to be honest with you, Nick. But like I said, I'd have no qualms about whether Kimmich could be good enough at Liverpool. Kimmich's a very, very good football player, and, you know, I've nothing but the height of respect for him. Liz said, happy effing birthday, Mark. Love you. And again, that's what we expect from Liz as well. Absolute top lady. Thank you, Liz. Right, I'm going to have a little look at Kimmich's injury record while we're talking about him here. Right, so what's he missed? He's missed very, very little. I mean, very, very little. He's missed a total of 2, 4, 5, 8, 12, 13, 26, 29 games in 9 years. That's a pretty good injury record. 29 or so games in 9 years in club football. That's not too shabby. So his injury record's pretty bulletproof, to be fair. Now, he is 29, so you got to take that into consideration. Are the new signings for the summer or January? Well, 1 second, Jules. I will get your comment up and then we'll go from there. So, it's believed we're talking about the summer for the young striker. And we'll go through that tonight in more detail, Jules. But yeah, it's believed it'll be the summer. While we're sticking with the funny stuff and the nice stuff, this piece here from Transfer News Live says that Cristiano Ronaldo will renew his contract with Al Nassr until June 2026. Are you ready to fall off your seats? He will earn an annual salary of €200 million for 1 year. Almost €4 million a week for a washed up player. Have they lost their damn minds? That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyone earning 200 million quid in a season to play football is absolutely ridiculous. Football's lost its mind. We're not talking about a prime Ronaldo here. We're talking about a Ronaldo at the very, very tail end of his career. Wow. I mean, good money if you can get it. I'm not knocking him. If somebody offered me that type of money, I'd be staying on board as well. But that's crazy money. That is absolutely crazy. Wow. Speaking about crazy money, see the way I've segued us in here. Reports suggest that Darwin Nunez is about to be offered £400,000 a week to go to Al Hilal, according to Anfield Watch, who say Darwin Nunez has been offered a contract of £400,000 per week by the Saudi Pro League club. Again, I've seen mixed reporting on this. Some people believe, yep, they will be in for Darwin Nunez. You know, we spoke previously about the manager at Al Hilal being Darwin Nunez, former Benfica manager. But let's wait and see. I know if Liverpool receive an offer of X amount, they'll do business, but we haven't seen that offer come as of yet. But that's a lot of money, isn't it? £400,000 a week. He's not going to be getting that at Liverpool. £400k for Nunez. Have they lost their marbles? Now look, I don't know, like I've said all the way through, I've no idea what Darwin and his family think about this, or the opportunity or the offer. I've no idea. I've also got no idea how on the money the report is of them coming in from. I haven't really seen, you've seen the talk there of what Darwin would make, but I've not seen anyone that I'm aware of report on what Liverpool would be being offered to sell Darwin Nunez. I mean, that's something that we've got to be looking at as well. Jingles. 454545. Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, my friend. Appreciate you being with us. And also, I want to say thank you. Look at the top corner. That one, is it? Yeah, that one. We've gone past 293,000 subscribers. We're chasing down that 300k. And we're trying to get there by the end of the month. It's going to take a big, big push. But thank you to everyone that stuck with us. Hit that subscribe button. Drop likes on streams. It's making a huge difference. Thank you. Right. Where do I go first? Do you want to talk about the young striker? Or do you want to talk about Semenyo? Which one do you want to go through first? Because there's information on Antoine Semenyo of Bournemouth. And there's information, of course, on that young striker from, well, who's on loan at Nuremberg in Bundesliga 2. So which one do you want to talk about first? And it seems like most people are happy with the leaked shirt. If you haven't seen it, by the way, that's it. That's the shirt we're asking about in the poll. It looks sexy to me. It's very much the Fernando Torres, Steven Gerrard shirt reimagined. And take my money, Adidas. Although I'd rather they gave me one for free, to be honest with you. Right, so I've ended that poll because we had 1,000 votes, and thank you. Oh God, this is a mixed one. Right, do you know what? It is kind of 50-50, so dealer's choice. I'm going to go with Semenyo because I think we've lost our damn minds. And let me explain why. So, I'm just getting the report up here on my phone, or on my computer, bear with me. Right, so there was a report put out there today that said Liverpool are considering using Ben Doak in a deal for Antoine Semenyo. Bournemouth reportedly value Semenyo at around £50 million, and Liverpool would ideally not want to pay that kind of money in this month's transfer window. So there's talk that Ben Doak will be used as a makeway. Now, how did we get as a club from speaking about Kimmich Kvaratskhelia, where all the journalists, you know, these people that the superstars, the serious people in the football world, not like us little retrobates, the serious people in the football world, told us a few days ago that Liverpool were looking, monitoring, keeping an eye on the situation with Kimmich Kvaratskhelia. They all came out almost coincidentally at the same time talking about it. And now we're talking about Antoine Semenyo for nearly the same money as Paris Saint-Germain are about to pay. What? Have you lost your fucking minds? This, to me, screams of Richard Hughes only having Bournemouth's number in his phone book. Because that is ridiculous. And I'm going to move on to talk more about the Kvaratskhelia stuff in a minute, because the club have once again embarrassed themselves for no reason on that one. But on the Semenyo thing, let's just have a look. I know that snobbery is a thing sometimes, and you look at players and their path through, but sorry, I'm distracted by a comment. Yeah, the whole Semenyo thing is mad to me. And looking at his history, right? Came through at Bristol City, had 112 appearances, 16 goals. Went on loan to Bath City. Then went on loan to Newport County. Then went on loan to Sunderland. Has gone into Bournemouth, had 63 appearances, scored 14 goals. Also represented Ghana as well, 25 caps there and 2 goals. But this is the height of our ambition now, is it? We're going full Eric Ten Hag and going back to Bournemouth, because are they the only ones picking up the phone to Richard Hughes? Lads, come on. Let's be honest about this. It's an embarrassment. To go from briefing that you're keeping an eye on the Kvaratskhelia stuff to this nonsense about using Ben Doak as a mateway to get Antoine Semenyo at 50 million quid. I'm not having that. I'm just not having that. That is pathetic. If that's the extent of our ambition, what are we in for? Honestly. Look, I get people think Semenyo's good, and I'm not saying he's a terrible footballer. In fact, I'm saying at 20 million quid you probably have a different conversation, but at 50 million quid for somebody who has 63 Premier League appearances, in a position where, as of right now, we don't actually need anybody. Astounded by this. Now, the reason I bring it up and tie it into the Kimmich Kvaratskhelia stuff is because I warned at the time that the whole Kvaratskhelia stuff kind of stunk of the similar situation that we'd seen unfold when Liverpool were watching Lenny Yoro. And we were told by all the journalists, the serious people in football, not us little reprobates on YouTube or in fan content, you know, the people who like to laud it over us all as them being in the know, the serious people, laughing at all of us and then telling us this shit and thinking that we're going to go, oh yeah, that's fucking great, we're going to sign Kvaratskhelia because they've all said it. Only for him to be making his way to PSG, as per reported today. That deal is pretty much almost done. A report from Fabrice Hawkins said Kimmich Kvaratskhelia to Paris Saint-Germain is now just a matter of time. Today's discussions between Napoli and PSG have made significant progress. Transfer fee around the €70 million mark with a bonuses, contract till 2029. So my question is this. Why brief that we were interested in the player? And if the club didn't brief, why the coincidence of everybody all of a sudden having information on it? Now, they can't say they weren't briefed on it because you can go and find out all these journalists who say, having spoken to people at the club X, Y, Z, and they've all confirmed the interest in Kvaratskhelia. But yeah, here we are once again, Todger in hand, waving as everybody else goes off to the dance with their partners, and we're stuck here looking like mugs yet again. Whoever's running PR at Liverpool should be fired. Because why would you let that story get out there and then do fucking nothing? Just sit there and let PSG have their way, and we just sit there monitoring, watching, stalking. Does anybody else not think this is an embarrassment? Like, how do you get to that? What's the point of it? Or was it a distraction? Like we've said. Was it a distraction? Or was it maybe to light a fire under Mohamed Salah's agent to think, well, look, we have options. The options are running down now, but I'm genuinely astonished by all of it. You know, one day it's Kimmich Kvaratskhelia, we're watching, monitoring, waiting. Then, of course, we do nothing. And now it's Antoine Semenyo for Ben Doak and some money. That's shocking. Mark, I've done that one. Thanks for the text, folks. And bring on the Blues on the 12th. Thank you, Mark. A couple of other super chats I need to catch up through. Greetings, Craig. I wonder if we'll consider keeping Endo. He's shown his value as a utility player. Frankly, sell Darwin for Isak in the summer. Well, apparently that price has gone up to 170 million Great British pounds, according to a report I'd seen yesterday. That now the price tag on Isak is 170 million pound. You don't need me to tell you that Liverpool aren't going to pay that. And look, on the Endo thing, I think we're all Endo fans, all of us. And if Arne Slot thinks that Endo's the new Jimmy Milner, or that Endo can be kept around as a player that can be utilised at centre-back in midfield, brilliant. You know, I don't know anyone that doesn't love Wataru Endo and appreciate his professionalism, so that'd be absolutely top-notch. Sorry, folks. Just need to shout up something to the missus. Right, have I gone through? I think I have another super chat I missed. Stephen, how are you, Stephen? Said Liverpool should shop at Harrods, not Tesco. We're not even shopping at Tesco though, mate. We're like standing in the window of Tesco looking in at everybody else shopping. It's astounding. Mahmood said, evening Craig, do you think we beat Spurs in the Cup? Yes, I do. We'll have to play an awful lot better than we did down in London, but it's a month basically to the next leg, so I kind of put it out of my mind for now because there's quite a way to go. David. Sorry, David, I thought I'd brought that one up. 1 second. What is Hughes and Edwards getting paid to do? Monitor? That's the best I've got for you. I don't know. But all of this talk is just, again, taken away from the frustration of the contract renewals and actually doing real business in this window. Because as of yet, we still have no breakthrough, no confirmation of Virg, Mohamed and Trent. And this is just, I don't know. Look, I'm truly astounded by the Kimmich Kvaratskhelia stuff. I am. Because we had big hitters out there. You had Paul Joyce, David Lynch, and some other top journalists out there speaking about talking to their sources at the club and confirming that Liverpool are interested, admire the player, watching the player, to do nothing. I don't know what I can say. It's astounding to me at this point that this crap gets believed. You know, it's nonsense. FSG just need to piss off. Sell up the club. You're cheap. You don't have ambition. You don't want to win. You're not giving your manager the tools he needs. And I don't care how many managers come in front of a camera or how many journalists tell us we don't understand the way the club is run, and how many people try to make out like everything is great and everything behind the scenes at the club is running smooth. I'm not buying it. And everything on the pitch, Aaron is doing a great job. The lads are doing a great job. We're all behind the players, the manager, absolutely 100%. We're frustrated when we don't get results, but hey, look, that's being a fan. But once again, the club are taking the piss, quite frankly. And again, some people still want to let them away with it and still don't feel like this crap needs to be called out. It is a joke. Jules said, Liverpool going to hijack a signing or make a bigger buy for the summer. By the way, Newcastle wanted Gomez and Kwanzaa, trade the two for Isak. I'll tell you what, if I could revisit that Kwanzaa scenario now, I probably would have looked at it a bit differently. But I also appreciate that the club did, you know, not want to give up Kwanzaa and held the ground on him. So I appreciate that side of it as well, in all honesty. Vinu said, we need to win this season. They need to focus on getting a midfielder this January window, but they're focused on other positions. See, here's the part where I disagree with you a tiny bit. I agree with you on the midfielder, my friend. 100% with you on that one. But you use the word they're focused on. I don't know what the fuck they're focused on, quite frankly. Or if they are. Because once again, it's silence. Radio silence at Liverpool Football Club. You know, no communication, no inkling, no putting Richard Hughes out there in front of the media to speak. Just keep wheeling out Arne Slot and putting him in awkward positions while the club do absolutely nothing about it. It's nuts. But anyway, look, I've had my say on it and I want to know what you guys think about it. I'm going to move on now to speak about that young striker, because there's been some interesting reporting today on him as well. So Ben Bosak and Sam Maguire via Anfield Watch have said Liverpool are currently leading the race to sign Tzimas, Stefanos Tzimas. It remains to be seen whether Liverpool will make a move for Tzimas in the January window or the summer transfer window. The Reds are exploring both options at the moment. Now, I think the question I'd have on this one is, it's not for me to say whether the young man's good enough or not. I haven't got a clue. But we do have Jayden Danns. And if you bring in another 19-year-old, what happens then with Danns' career path or trajectory into the first team? Because I think most of us are on the Jayden Danns hype train. Well, at least I'm definitely on the Jayden Danns hype train. And I'm not against the idea of another young forward coming in, but the pathway is what worries me. And it's also a fairly big jump to go from being on loan from PAOK to Nuremberg in the Bundesliga 2 to then coming and playing for a team challenging to win the Champions League on top of the Premier League. It's a big jump. So I'd like to know the pathway and the plan of how to utilise the young man and what's going to happen with Jayden Danns. You know, that any advice or any thought processes on that in the chat is very much welcome. David Massett said, we're in the second half of the season, no contract signed, no new players coming in at the moment. I think it's worrying times. I'm torn, David, to be honest with you, mate, because on one side of things, I've nothing but belief in the players that we have and in the manager. 100% on board. Sign me up. I'm on HMS Pistol League. And I think we'll do that regardless of what happens in the window. But, again, I'm getting to a position where I'm thinking we'll do this in spite of the cheapness of FSG. Or in spite of the owners not having the stomachs to actually go after multiple trophies for multiple seasons. And as a fan, you're then torn between, well, what do I do about this? I feel like the play I'm doing here is on a match day, I'm right behind the lads, same as you all, right behind the players, the manager. But in between match days, and particularly during the transfer window, I feel it's incumbent upon us to speak up. Because others aren't going to do it. You know, there's very much a line drawn in the sand in my eyes between me, fan content, aggregator accounts on social media, and the other people who think they're the serious ones and only their word shall be gospel, and that everything that comes from the likes of us is just lowbrow nonsense from idiots. And I'm quite frankly sick of it, like I've said many times. So I'm on the side of fan content. I'm going to stick up for my fellow content creators, the aggregator accounts that do such good work. And by the way, when these journalists often look down their noses at these aggregator accounts, your Anfield sectors, your Anfield editions, your anything Liverpool, your Liverpool transfer, all these good accounts run by good people, they're forgetting one really key element of it all. They share a lot of their work that otherwise people wouldn't know about. Now, I know they love to jump on and say everything's been taken out of context when they don't like something, but that's just tough shit. This is the world. This is the landscape. Deal with it. You don't get to tell people how to feel when they read your work. And if somebody reads your work and feels like you're defending the club unfairly or you're not calling out stuff, then who are you to tell them that they're wrong? They're reading what you've written. So for me, I'm fully on board of standing my ground, holding fan content up, because we're growing, they're dying. There's a reason for that. So I want to say thank you to you all again for sticking with us and being behind fan content, because I tried to play nice. I tried to put the hand of friendship out. I tried to show that we can be professional. But once again, we just get looked down our noses at, and it is what it is, but I'm going to have some fun with it. Because it's our rules. It's YouTube rules. Doesn't have to be prim and proper. I'm going to swear. You're not going to like it. But tough shit. And by you, I don't mean you wonderful people. I mean the people that want to tell us all that we're deluded, that we're FIFA generation, that we're all lowbrow, that we don't get it. I think they're better than us, quite frankly. You're not. You want that to be the case. You very much do. But we're where it's at. So come join the party or shut the fuck up. But you're not going to domineer us or bully us anymore. Those days are over. Harkers, evening Craig, hope you're well mate, just tuned in. Any update on Marmoush the City? Hand on heart, I don't know. I haven't really been following that one once I knew that it was getting close. Heartbreak for me, obviously heartbreak. I really, really, really wanted Liverpool to sign Omar Marmoush, and to see him go to City, I kind of, sucks that little bit more, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's wait and see. Okay. Sorry, I'm scrolling back through my notes here. Charlie said, would you buy Kimmich? He's 30 next month. I'd prefer to get somebody else. But if we signed Joshua Kimmich to give Gravenberch a breather on occasion, or to be a utility player in the squad, I wouldn't be against it, Charlie, to be honest with you. I just think I'd want the fee knocked down a little bit where possible, but I wouldn't be against it in the short term, no. I wouldn't look at it and think that he wouldn't be good enough to put on a Liverpool shirt. He would. But it would be kind of a shorter term thought process from the club, which, isn't completely on the realms of possibility. We've seen it with Thiago before. Only for Kimmich has a far better injury record. Craig, United fan here. Love your content. Thank you. Though what did you think of the ref in the United match yesterday? He should be investigated. My friend, I've been banging the drum about refereeing in the Premier League for years, and I've been calling on fans to come together, because when one of us, like let's say your game against Arsenal where you were on the the tail end of some very, very questionable decisions. And I don't mean that from the point of view of I think that there's anything corrupt going on. I just think that these lads aren't very good. But when you're on the end of that like you have, you know what's going to happen. You'll have everybody else's fans laughing at you. Meanwhile, you go on to the next week, it'll happen to Arsenal. Their fans will get laughed at. It'll happen to us. We'll get laughed at. But nobody thinks longer term. And nobody thinks outside their own little tribalistic bubbles. Because everyone's getting shafted. And the decisions aren't good enough. And that penalty that you got given against you was nothing short of a disgrace. So I agree with you. Some of those decisions were shocking. But the standard of officiating in the Premier League isn't good enough. And where's the semi-automated offside technology that was supposed to be here at the start of the season, then October, then Christmas, and now here we are again, and they still have doubts about it. It's good enough for World Cups, mind you. Good enough for other competitions, but, you know, the PGMOL have doubts about it. Why is that? Is it because it takes away some of the undue influence that your poor officials have? You know, because fans are sick of it. You're all sick of it. Well, no matter what club you support, you're getting sick of it. And it hasn't improved it. And it hasn't taken away the debates. And VAR hasn't solved the problems. And hasn't gotten rid of the debates with your mates down the pub. It's only brought on a bullshit industry where we have to listen to Mike Dean and Dermot fucking Gallagher ram down our throats, telling us why we're wrong. They just don't get it. So many people in so many of these positions just don't get it. I'm going to tell you for free. People don't like being spoken down to. They like being spoken to. Not down to. They don't like the we know best, trust us, we are the fucking almighty. People don't want that. People are fed up of that. Because we tried to let you guys do it. And you made a holy fucking mess of it. And now you've got the barefaced cheek to look at the rest of us and tell us that no, we can fix it. Here's an idea. Stop messing around with football. Stop dicking around with the rules. Leave it. Doesn't need. I actually agree with Ange on that one. Leave it. Stop trying to perfect things all the time. Especially when you're not very good at doing it. Robbie. Liverpool are being cheap once again. Yep. And look, I hope people can have a distinction in their minds between the club and the staff at the club. Because for me, I love the club ethos. I love the bigger picture of the club. I love Arne Slot. I love the players. But I despise the owners. And they are mere custodians of the club. But the amount of goodwill that they've been given by journalists, some other publications and podcasts and video content creators is astounding to me. When we know they're cheap. The numbers back up they're cheap. Once again now, we're in a window where we're on the cheap side of it and we've done no business. It's embarrassing. But they aren't the club. They are the custodians of it right now. And that's what I want to keep reminding people. We can criticise the club. Doesn't mean you don't love Arne Slot. It just means you're not happy with what you're seeing. It doesn't have to be an all-encompassing I love everything about a football club. That's not healthy either. Thank you, Marcus. We're not bigger or better than anybody, mate. Look, I'm a normal dude. We're all normal people. But what I would say, Marcus, is we're a community. We are a community. And that's, I think, what these people at times don't understand is. This isn't just me putting out stuff to tell you what to think. This is me and you talking every night, figuring it out together, and going on this journey of ups and downs. And I consider the 293, 225 people in my community as friends at this point. Because you've seen me at my best and worst and you've stuck with me. That means so much to me, and I'm going to work my ass off to try and repay that forever while I'm in this content world. At this point, play Dan's, wait until the summer. The guy has serious potential. Is there a chance for Gordon? No, the Gordon stuff is gone. We signed a new deal. He did sign it, right? Well, if he hasn't, he's going to, but I think he has. So yeah, that one's done. We had the opportunity this summer. Philip said, irate Semenyo reminds me of a Mane. And that's sound, mate. I'm not saying he's a poor player or anything like it, but it is some way down from monitoring Kavicha Kvaratskhelia, who could potentially be world class in the right team with the right players, the right coaching all around them, to going for Antoine Semenyo, who just happens to be at the club that our sporting director came from. All of this to me just sounds a little bit tin pot. Is that the right word? The fairest question we all have, I think, on our lips is what has the man been doing since he's been in, Richard Hughes? Like, genuinely, what has he been doing? Because he hasn't got the contract sorted out, and I can't get away from that point. And I know I'm tiring people coming on banging on about it, but that was job number one. That was top of the pile on your inbox, and you haven't done it, any of it. So one or two things. Maybe there's three options. Either Hughes has just not been given the money to do the deals, right? That has to be talked about as an option. So either the club and the owners have been really cheap and Richard Hughes hasn't been given the option to go out there into the market, or he's out of his depth. I can't imagine Michael Edwards would have hired him if he felt he was out of his depth. Any other options? Any other ideas? Maybe they're pulling a masterclass out their arse and they're being very stealthy about it. I don't know, but the goodwill I'd have behind that type of stuff's kind of washed up, to be honest with you. Did I go through all these? Yeah, I did. Right, cool. I want to get back on to this. Florian Plettenberg, right? So, Florian Plettenberg is the one that came out and said that Liverpool are interested in trying to get a move, or actually, do you know what? Let me back. I'm going to do this backwards, so bear with me 1 second. Where's Florian Plettenberg's comments? Right. So Florian Plettenberg, around Stefanos Tzimas, the young striker, said, Liverpool have reportedly opened talks with second-tier side FC Nuremberg over a summer transfer of Stefanos Tzimas. A phone call is said to have gone through in the past days, according to Florian Plettenberg. He said, it's Nuremberg's intention to take up the €18 million or £15.1 million purchase option that they have, so that they can sell him in the coming summer transfer window. Liverpool, as well as rivals Chelsea, Brighton, Villa and Bundesliga clubs, have been quoted a price of €25 million or 20.9 million plus add-ons. But yesterday, Plettenberg was just saying that it was Brighton that were interested. Said Brighton are monitoring Stefanos Tzimas, but despite reports at this stage, he's not yet a transfer target in the winter. That could change in the summer. Chelsea, Aston Villa and Newcastle are also keen. So yesterday from Florian Plettenberg, no mention of Liverpool. Today, phone calls were made in the past few days. Anybody else think he's talking out both sides of his mouth? Because I fucking do. You know, where was all this information yesterday when you were naming clubs that were interested in him? I'll go through them again. Brighton, Chelsea, Villa, Newcastle. No Liverpool mentioned there. And then today, there's been phone calls over the last few days. Really? Okay. Sell Nunez and let Dans play. He knows how to score, said Patrick. I'm definitely up for the idea of pushing Jayden Dans in. Do you know what makes me feel comfortable about it, Patrick, to be honest with you? If we lost Darwin Nunez now, tomorrow, we're not losing goals. We're losing a hard worker. We're losing somebody who has had some assists recently as well. But we still have 5 other forwards there. Now that Federico Chiesa is fully fit and getting some game time and has got his first Liverpool goal, you've got Salah, Diaz, Gakpo, Chiesa, and Jota. So you've got 5 players there. And then if you push Jayden Dans in to be the 6th option, I think we'd be more than okay between now and the end of the season. But what I can't say to you is, and I don't know, is what the best plan of action is for Jayden Dans' future. So if Arne Slot feels that Jayden Dans needs to get minutes, then a loan may be the best idea for him before the window shuts on February 3rd. Because, you know, it's about getting those minutes back into the legs, especially coming back from such a long time out. But you've seen how sharp he looked when he came on. Some lovely touches. The finish for his goal was top-notch as well. So I'd have no problem whatsoever in doing what you've said. In selling Darwin and promoting Dans up. But I don't know what the plans for Arne Slot and from Jayden Dan's camp would be about whether a loan is likely or not. Jay Penfold said, I hope Tzimas goes anywhere but Liverpool. He's not good enough. Dan's is better. Look, mate, I'm not going to even profess to know whether he's good enough or not. I haven't got a clue. I didn't even know this young man existed till yesterday. But he does seem to be a talent that is being looked at by a lot of clubs in Europe. So, you know, take from that what you will. But I understand the pathway being blocked for Dan's, and that will be a concern for me as well. Ryan said, same media BS. Plettenberg has a room on BS Island. I got you, Ryan. Ready for you, bro. Here it is. Is that him? Can I see him? Hang on. I think he's in the bushes. I think I can see him in there, Ryan. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. And thank you for being a member with us for 6 months. Elmer, how are you, my man? Said, Hughes is as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike. Or chocolate coloured teapot. Or chocolate teapot. If he fell into a barrel full of baps, he'd come out sucking on his own thumb. Looks like a dry January. I can't decide what the situation is with Richard Hughes, because we don't really have a body of work to analyse. And that's the fairest I can be about it. Other than bringing in Arne Slot, which I'm infinitely grateful for, I think obviously they've made the right decision there. We don't have a body of work to figure it out. Georgi Mamardashvili, I think, is a good signing for the future. Chiesa, opportunistic signings. And again, I can understand the club taking a punt on. If it goes well, it's going to look like an absolute bargain. So I have no issue with any of that. But it's the midfielder thing that pisses me off, right? Because this was already a source of embarrassment for us. The fact that we'd gone in for Lavia, Caicedo and others and it didn't work. Different regime. But then we come in and they go for Martin Zubimendi. And it drags out all summer. And we come up short again. And we look like mugs again. And now here we are. And we're in a window. And to the best of my understanding, I've not really seen many midfielder targets. You can talk about Joshua Kimmich tonight. But in that Sky Sports France article, he's been spoken about as a Trent replacement. Unless I've misinterpreted that. Why are we seeing all these forwards being linked? My guess is, like I said the other day, that they're trying to put a rocket up Mohamed Salah and his agent's backside to say, we have options. We're not being held over a barrel here. And if I was guessing, that's my guess. But it is a guess. Be honest about that. It is a guess. What I can't understand is the contracts. Transfer stuff's always difficult. Hit and miss. You get some, you don't get some. But we've had time. And the goodwill of getting your feet under the table, Arne Slot evaluating his squad, seeing what the Premier League campaign unfolded like, all that stuff's gone now. Because you're there. You've had time to plot, plan, negotiate, and make a pathway. And none of it, nothing's happened. Nothing. Zip, nada. That's... How do you rate that and think it's good? How? This is... I'm going to read something out to you now, right? That James Pearce wrote on The Athletic. Or said on The Athletic, one or the other. And like I've always said, James Pearce is a lovely guy. But this is PR bullshit 101, in my opinion. It said, when Trent has conducted interviews with TV rights holders, the topic of his contract has been off limits. For him, it's about showing respect to his boyhood club while the process is ongoing. Excuse me? So, it couldn't possibly be that he's playing both sides off against each other, or that he's stringing everybody along. He's doing it, Joe, purely out of his love for the club. And there's no sinister ulterior motives here whatsoever. And that Trent has only not spoken about the subject out of respect. Not because they might be difficult questions to answer, or that he may be put in an uncompromising position. Wholly just because of the hand-on-heart respect for the club. Come on. Stop treating us like idiots. Trent's free to make up his own mind. his career, his choice, his life. But this is bullshit. This is bullshit. The narrative has been seized by Real Madrid. The club made to look weak. And we're all just supposed to sit back and go, yeah, good old Trent. He's looking after the club here. Best interest at heart. Here's an idea. Accept the £300,000 a week contract, please, sir. Or at least make your mind up, bro, about where you want to be. Because it's getting tiring at this point. Fans are fed up of it. They just want to know what's happening. And I'm sure the club are probably the same because they need to plan for whatever's happening. So I just hate that because it's only pandering to the club and the players' representatives. That's all that from James Pearce is. There's no other reason. There's no editorial context for that. It's bullshit. It's just pandering, being a good little boy and not questioning the narrative. And I'm sorry, but it's not right. Trent, if he doesn't want to talk about it, fair enough. But don't give us the line about out of appreciation for the club and respect for the club. Like it doesn't benefit him to say nothing. Like it isn't getting him lots more pressure on both sides of this debate. Real Madrid offer more money. Liverpool offer more money. Stop taking us for idiots. Dave Humphrey said, why doesn't he take a leaf out of Cole Walker? Said he wants to leave City, at least they know. Exactly. Being up front and speaking to the fans and say, look, I've made a decision. After 20 years of the club, I want to go. I want to try something new. I'm going to give my all between now and the end of the season. I'm very grateful to this football club and its supporters. It's been a difficult process for me. I've been torn, but I've now decided what I want to do. How hard is that? Or sign the contract and we get the unveiling and Trent stays and we're all happy with that as well. But this silence, I'm not feeling respected as a fan. I can't speak for everybody else. So I'm going to ask you guys how you feel about it. Now, let me just say this. Honestly, I don't have any ill feeling towards Trent. And I'm not trying to be toxic towards him. I've always said the same thing. He's free to do whatever he likes. But just be upfront about it. Because we haven't heard once that he wants to stay. Not once. Heard it from Mo. Heard it from Virgil. Not heard it from Trent, who wants to captain the club one day. So the question I'm going to ask you is, are you happy with Trent being silent? I think that's a fair way to ask the question because, you know, there's no leading statement. It's genuinely, I'm trying to gauge how people are feeling. Are you happy with Trent being silent? Have a vote on that one and we'll see how people are feeling. And again, this is part of the whole community aspect of this that I love. I get to see how people are really feeling. Not telling you how to feel, but seeing how you're feeling. Sign Robinson, Gavi and Osimhen. Problem done. Well, I don't think you're going to get Gavi. Don't want Osimhen. And Robinson is too old. He's 28 next birthday. And probably about 40 million quid. So I don't see the benefit long term of replacing Costas with somebody older than him. Or Robbo with somebody who's creeping up to that age anyway. But look, that's just my opinion, and I just don't think it'd be very Liverpool-esque to do a 40 million quid for somebody who's turning 28 next birthday. Just seems steep to me. Hughes is getting 1 out of 10 for me at the moment. No contract, no midfielder. For a supposed expert, can't see that we need signings unless useless hand him his P45 is what Ryan O'Driscoll said. Philip, I'm with you. I'm here and I'm with you on that one, bro. Win tomorrow, win the league. I'm with you. Now, I think we win it regardless, but tomorrow is a big game. Big game. And I don't know how everybody else is feeling, but I'm definitely nervous about it. Nervous and excited about it as well, because a win's going to feel good if we can get it tomorrow. And I'm expecting such a really difficult game. If you see my preview today, I went for a narrow victory and I was very close to going on a draw, to be honest. I know Forest are going to come fast, hard. The fans are going to be behind them. They're absolutely flying with confidence at the minute. Won their last 5, deservedly where they are in the league. Beating us at Anfield. You know, anybody who's taking this game lightly, I think, is just fooling themselves. But on the other side of it, we should be able to go there and win. If you want to win a league title in the European Cup and be the best team in Europe, you got to be going to places like the City Ground and getting the win. So, yeah. And it'll give us an opportunity as well to strike a bit of a dagger in the heart of Arsenal and their title challenge, because they play they play Spurs at the Emirates in a North London derby the night after. So our next 2 league games, we get the opportunity to put points on the board before Arsenal kick off. So they've got Spurs on Wednesday. Tuesday beforehand we play. At the weekend we play at 3 o'clock against Brentford. They play at 5:30 against Aston Villa. So Liverpool have an opportunity to pile the pressure on Arsenal before they play, and I hope we do it. Jack Dempsey said Kimmich one feels like a play from his agents to get him a new contract as his expires in the summer. Not to be a downer. Not a downer at all for me, Jack. He wouldn't be on my top 5 list of players I'd like to see Liverpool go and sign in that position. I just tried to be fair and say I could understand it if the club did it. It wouldn't be my choice though, but thank you, mate. Appreciate your input. Right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can do me a little small favour, hit that like button for me. Let's see if we can get it up to 1,000. We've been on an incredible run lately of getting to 1,000 likes on streams. You may notice I'm a bit more upbeat today and a bit more energetic. I started taking antibiotics in the last couple of days to finally try and move this chesty kind of cold thing I've been carrying for about 3 weeks. And today's the first day I haven't had to manage my breathing when I'm speaking, to take a breath when I'm wheezing. And I feel brilliant. I feel so much more back to myself, alert, alive, happy and healthy. So it's great. It's great. I'm feeling happy to be here with you all again rather than exhausted, which I have been over the last while. Right. So the question is, are you happy with Trent being silent? And we'll leave that poll running for a little bit longer. Please do vote away. I want a big sample size as I can get. And I certainly want to make this clear. I don't want any toxicity towards Trent in any way, shape or form. I hope Trent stays. I want Trent to stay. I just don't like the narrative being wrestled away from Liverpool. And I don't like this constant pandering to Trent and the club to say, oh, it's only a good thing that he's staying silent. It isn't. And I know that journalists don't think this privately, by the way. But, hey ho. What are the chances we don't sign anyone? I'm 99% sure they won't, said Andy Ward. I don't know, Andy, mate. I feel like we might get one in, but I don't. It disappoints me that mightn't be somebody who we'd had a plan to go at in this window. You know, it's somebody who will probably tick enough boxes that we go, yeah, if that makes sense. Opportunistic is the word I'm using there. And by opportunistic, I don't always mean cheap. I mean, it could be somebody that Liverpool have been keeping tabs on, maybe not had a concerted effort to go and sign, but then becomes available and the club go, okay, this works, and move. Absolutely, that could happen. Chelsea want rid of Nkunku, apparently. I'd read that yesterday, Ben. And I think there was another one today that they were talking about moving on as well. One of their defenders, if I'm not mistaken. They're showing, again, a real ruthless streak there of succeed or out you go. It would be nice to see Dan's given a chance in the first team. I think he would be the player we need up front. One thing that just strikes me, King C2413, about Jayden Dan's is the dude has it. He has a swagger about him that, I don't know, I just love. You know, he's out there on the pitch and he just looks like he knows that's where he's meant to be. And it doesn't seem to faze him. And I love it. I love that confidence. It's not arrogance. It absolutely is confidence. And I love it. And as you guys pointed out to me the other day, the way he took his goal, it came at him quickly. It wasn't easy, but he controlled it well and buried it. And the little run as well to set up for Chiesa. There's just so much to like about him. And that fearlessness of youth. Yeah. You know, and as somebody pointed out as well, of course, you know, proper football family. Father was a pro. Probably got a very good grounding as well. I just love the kid. Honestly, he's been such a breath of fresh air. And I'm rooting from, definitely. So after we do this Trent poll, I'm going to get back to what position you think is the one that we need to sort in this window. We just need to get 1,000 votes on the Trent one. So we're about 195 away. So if you can keep voting on that one for me. How's Big Harvey doing? Are we talking about Woof Woof Harvey or Mr. Elliott? Because Woof Woof Harvey's good. Yeah, he's good. He's getting bigger, bolder, stronger. Mr. Elliott just not getting enough minutes for my like. Although I could probably say Harvey isn't getting enough minutes from me either, to be fair at the minute. Woof Woof Harvey, I mean. Would I take a draw tomorrow? Said Tyson. If we hadn't have drawn with United and lost to Spurs, and I know they're different competitions, well, they're not the same, all of them the same competition. United and Spurs, though, that draw with United in the league and then the League Cup loss to Spurs. No, I wouldn't. If we had beaten United and even drew with Spurs, I wouldn't have felt as bad. And I know there's no correlation, by the way, between the 1-0 loss to Spurs in the League Cup and a league game, but it's just made me feel like if we do drop any points tomorrow, this is just going to energise Arsenal and the chasing pack. So I feel like it is a must win. Well, sorry, that's wrong, because a must win isn't the sense from the... I don't think we're going to lose the league if we don't win tomorrow, but I think a win would be timely and it would lay down a good marker about what others can expect for the second half of the season. Ken said if Jones plays tomorrow, he better turn up. Right. Am I the only person that thinks Curtis Jones has like a 50-50? And that's me being kind. So 50% of the time he's top notch and you're thinking, wow. And the other 50%, and that this is the generous 50, is him just not showing up. So for me, he was outstanding against West Ham. I thought he was brilliant that day. Absolutely unplayable. And then he's got 2 stinkers back to back after that. And that to me has been the problem with Curtis Jones. I think this has probably been his most consistent season so far under Arne Slot, because the style of football, from Curtis's own words, suits him better. But I just don't see why Elliott's getting shunned and Jones is getting opportunity after opportunity. That confuses me. Other than, of course, the fact that Harvey Elliott did have that injury. Right, nearly we need about 60 or so votes before we can close off the Trent one and we get into which position do you think Liverpool needs strengthening in. Are we actually buying someone, or is FSG and Richard Hughes just making an Amazon wish list? I like that. Thank you for making me smile. Don't know. The truth is, I don't think anybody knows. You know? Like, I don't believe in coincidences, and that whole Kimmich Kvaratskhelia stuff just felt very scripted to me. That all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all the Liverpool-based journos got the nod from the club that they were keeping an eye on Kvaratskhelia and were monitoring and, you know, fond of the player and all this other stuff. And then, you know, we're all like, ooh, Kvaratskhelia might be possible. Ooh. And then all of a sudden we're here. Now he's gone to PSG and we're just standing there looking at him, waving them off. Right, so we've had 1,000 votes. Thank you very much. And it finished up with 79% of people saying that, even though that says 78. So let's say 78, because there's always 1% missing. 78% of the 1,000 people said that they are not happy with Trent being silent, and the other 21% said that they were happy with Trent being silent. And again, thank you to everyone that took the time to vote. It's always good for me to be able to see how you guys are feeling about these things, because I don't want to be talking about subjects that you don't want to listen to or you don't think are relevant or anything like that. And that when I read that piece from James Pearce there, it just kind of made my blood boil a little bit, because I'm fed up of all the pandering and all the everything's great, we're only best for the club and all this. It's not. Football's a grimy business at times, and Trent's doing what's best for Trent, and that's cool. It's his life, as I keep saying, but don't tell us otherwise. So I told you guys the other day I'd tell you what was getting me down over the last couple of days, and I'm going to get this poll up and then I'm going to move on to speak about it. Only going to take 2 minutes to talk about it because I don't want it to become a big thing. But you're going to ask me about it in the days ahead, so I need to respond to it. 1 second. Okay, so what position do you want a signing in? Attacker, left back, centre back, midfielder. I think they're probably the most spoken about. Right. Okay. Right. So, you may have been with us the other night on the stream where I called out the Echo, Paul Gorst, and a few of their journalists for what I think is bullying sometimes, or at least going in on fan content creators and aggregate accounts on social media. And I got off the stream and we get a message. And the message was from David Lynch. And without giving you the details of the message, the summary of it is that David doesn't feel comfortable coming on the streams anymore. Paul's a mate of his, and it puts him, in his opinion, in a very difficult position. And all I can say is what I've always said. I respect David Lynch immensely. I feel that we on the channel have only ever been accommodating and uplifting to David and his work. Any video we've done together, we've been nothing but professional. And I think he's been given no reason to feel the way he is from me and from us. But of course, I respect that maybe he, doesn't want to have any issues with people who consider friends. So moving forward, he won't be coming back on the channel to do any videos with us, and I was extremely surprised by it, to be honest, and saddened by it because, as I've said, I really like him. He's a top fella. I wish him nothing but the best in his life. I've no bad feelings towards him whatsoever, but I do feel like I fought his corner hard. I've removed comments that were slagging him. I've stuck up for him on many occasions on here when people were trying to go in on him, but the same wasn't being done, and that stings. So that was my turning point of saying, you know what, it's us and them now. The line in the sand is drawn, and if you're going to continue, all of them, all of the journalists that cover our club, to look down your noses at the aggregator accounts that help share your work, fan content like myself and others who speak from the heart and tell us that we're not clever enough to understand the outgoing or the ongoings of the club, or that your work has been taken out of context, when absolutely no way was Gorst's work taken out of context that night. He was just cry arson, jumping onto social media to have a go because he doesn't like being called out. But that's tough shit. That's the modern world. That's the way the content game is. Put yourself out there, write your pieces, you're going to be spoken about. And I hate Ian Doyle running on saying Liverpool fans want to be like Chelsea fans or Manchester City fans and expect hundreds of millions worth of signing. Bullshit. You're doing them a disservice again. You're belittling the very people that you're pitching your content to. And it's shocking. And look at any of the publications. They're all dying on their arse. All of them. Because nobody wants to read stuff that they know is just bullshit a lot of the time. And doesn't ask the difficult questions. And that's why we have grown. And that's why fan content is on the up. Because we speak from the heart. We might not be right all the time. We might be colourful in our language. We might be overreactionary on occasion. But you know what? That resonates with people. Because they see us. And they see them. And they see people who are like them. Treating them like adults. And speaking to them respectfully. So I've drawn my line in the sand. I'm on the side of fan content, the aggregator accounts, my fellow podcasts, YouTube channels, and everybody else that covers Liverpool and football content. I'll be here whether you like me or dislike me, having your back and calling this shit out, because I haven't been gifted 293,000 subscribers. I didn't just wake up overnight and get them. I grafted my arse off to get here. And you will fucking respect what we do. You are no better than us, no matter how much you want that to be the case. You're going to learn that. Whether it's the easy way or the hard way is up to the journalists and how they cover us. But you're going to learn it. We ain't going anywhere. We're an army, all of us together, that love this football club. And you don't get to tell us how to feel, and you don't get to speak down to us, and you don't get to tell us that what we're seeing with our own fucking eyes isn't the truth. Grow a backbone, call shit out, or admit that you just want a cushy life, and you want to be able to go to games, and you want to get your access. Because you're not being truthful, and I'm sick of it, and I'm not standing for it anymore. So you do whatever you need to do. You write whatever you need to write. But the gloves are fucking off. They're off. Fan content's had enough. And I've certainly had enough. So it's done now. You do what you want. But don't look down your fucking noses at the rest of us. Apologies if that's upset. Or came across aggressive in tone to people. But I'm done with it. I've seen it for years. I've felt it for years. I've heard about it. I know they hate some of the aggregator accounts. I'm sick of it. And as I've said, I have nothing but respect for David Lynch. He's a wonderful fella, and this wasn't aimed at him. My gripe is more with the Echo, because I don't know who the fuck they represent. Because it sure as hell ain't their readers. It sure as hell ain't the people of Liverpool. It's the owners. Admit it. Did you go to journalist, college or school to be a yes person? To take the easy life? Or did you have maybe, I don't know, dreams and ambitions to uncover stuff, talk about stuff, you know, have a backbone? So Gorst, Doyle and the rest of you clowns at the Echo, you're going to put some fucking respect on Fan Content's name. I'm going to make sure of that. Now it's over to you. Continue to mock us and ridicule us and see what happens. Because the rules of engagement have changed. You're in our world now. Ben, how are you, bro? I'm just fed up seeing all these players we're linked with. They end up getting linked differently to different clubs. Excuse me. I don't think we're getting anyone this window. I honestly don't know, bro, if we're getting anyone this window or not. I'm hopeful, but you know, I came into this window thinking I want a midfielder, but most importantly, I wanted the contract situation sorted out, because I know we keep being told that this is a difficult situation, but you know, tell me how we have no money to rub together. United can extend Amad Diallo very quickly with no drama, and yet we have the greatest centre back in world football, the current favourite in my mind for the Ballon d'Or, and a local young right back who has the world at his feet, and we can't get that done. And we can't get that done after saving about 17 million quid in the summer on wages and making a profit in the last transfer window. So why can't we get that done? You know the answer. I've been saying it for years. I've been shouting it till I'm blue in the face. Some people have come on board and I've seen the light. Some people don't. The owners are cheap. That's the answer. And I don't want to say this about the owners of Liverpool Football Club, but they are cheap. But your response, Craig, you're always so respectful. That hurt me the other night, Izzy. And that's why I said I needed to take 2 days to think about it, because it hurt me. Yeah, it hurt me. And to go to bat for somebody like I did many times. Now, David never asked me to go to bat for him, I should point that out. But I did. I defended him constantly. And then the first sign of me saying something that he doesn't like towards one of his mates, and you know, all of a sudden I'm not good enough to be working with, or you don't want the grief of working with me, that's okay. But it hurts. And I'm not going to take it lying down. And that's not a threat towards David. I've nothing but love and admiration for him. I wish him and his family the best in his life. But I'm going to keep calling out the crap from the Echo that I keep seeing, and any other journalist that's writing nonsense, that's trying to manipulate a fan base. I'm fed up seeing all these players. I've done that one. Sorry, mate. This one. David's just lost my follow because he's decided to side with the spineless guys. Look, again, he's a good man. And I want to reiterate this. He's a good man. He is. And I really like him. And if he had watched the whole lot of that stream where he was upset about a clip he seen on Twitter. And this is the part that really hurt me. If he had watched the clip on Twitter and went on to watch the stream, what would he have seen 5 minutes later on that same stream? Me gone out of my way to say that none of that was aimed at him. And that I'm very proud that he stuck with me and give me the opportunity to work with him. And I've shown him that I will only ever be respectful. And then I get that message a few hours later. In fact, I get that message 6 minutes after that clip went on Twitter. And it angered me because I'm fed up of being looked down my nose at by people and being told that I'm a half a fan, a fake fan, not good enough. Again, let's see. What's this about Elon Musk wants to buy Liverpool? Is there any truth about it? Love your content. I don't know. Is the honest answer. See his father on there saying he'd love to buy it, but I don't know if that was a kind of we'd all love to own Liverpool scenario. We know he has the money, but in any of these deals, you got to have a willing seller as well. And it doesn't look like FSG are in a position now, at least that I'm aware of, that they want to sell. Even though, you know, the club's gone up 5 billion quid in value since they bought it, they still, to the best of my understanding, feel like there's growth in TV rights and other revenue streams that haven't been tapped fully yet. So I guess the Americanization of the club is going to continue under these owners, and we'll wait and see what happens. And again, it's fucking annoying with the whole stuff because, yeah, sorry, I don't want to cover it anymore. I'm not going to talk about it again. So that's that. I said I'll take a few minutes to speak about it, but that's that. I'm not going to speak about it anymore. And again, I want to reiterate, I don't want any crap aimed towards David on my behalf or from our community's behalf, because he's a good man. And I can't say that enough. He's a good man. We may differ on our outlook of something, but that's okay. That's one thing in life. He's a good man, and I've lost a bit of respect for him because he didn't have my back, but that's a personal thing. But other than that, I hope he continues to do well and be the best version of him, because he's a good man. Edwards turned down an offer for Nunez. Do we know what that offer may have been? Actually, 1 second. Hang on. I've got something here in my notes that's just been sent through to me. Right, so Sam Maguire, that's what you're on about. Thank you. Sam Maguire, who has been running with this story a lot of the way through, to be fair to Anfield watching Sam Maguire, said exclusive, Liverpool turned down first offer for Darwin Nunez. Michael Edwards is handling negotiations and believe he can get the asking price for the striker. So, can I just say one thing? I told you 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, that the club were going to sell Darwin and that they were open to selling him. And a lot of people, again, like to mock and look down their noses at us, but here we are now in a situation where, according to Sam Maguire and Anfield Watch, an offer has come in. I'd love to know what the numbers being spoken about here are for context, but I'd also love to know what the plan is if indeed they do get the asking price for Darwin. And also, why is Edwards handling it? I thought his job title was supposed to be overseeing Hughes, but he was the sporting director. Sporting director's job's to buy and sell players and sort out contracts. I don't know why Edwards is still handling this, but I'll tell you one thing, I've definitely got more faith in Edwards handling it than I have on Hughes at this moment in time. So yeah, that story's a bit of a breaking one, so we'll see how that works out. If you do see any figures mentioned or anything, please do let me know, because it's an interesting one. Macy Pappy or Massey Pappy, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, my man. What's going on with Bajcetic? Is that what you're asking? Staying at Red Bull Salzburg by the looks of things. The latest report that I'd seen the other day suggested that he's going to stay there for the remainder of the campaign. It kind of makes sense as well, to be fair. You know, you don't want to be unsettling him, sending him over to Spain or whatever, where he has to get his feet under the table, get used to new surroundings, new club. So look, I think it's probably a good decision all around. Ashley Dooley. Ashley said, all 3 contracts not sorted and no players bought. Genuine question, what is Richard Hughes doing? The only way I can answer that is not enough. Is the only way I can answer that, Ashley, because, yeah, I don't know. I can't get my head around the contract stuff. I just can't. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, though, the game, and we can just block all this stuff out for a few hours. Okay, I've already gone through that one. Yeah, okay, cool. Right. Prediction, said Ben, for tomorrow's game. You hope 2-1 Liverpool. I'm the same. That was my prediction score, mate, 2-1. Although a 1-1 or a 2-2 draw, I don't think is unrealistic in the game either. But I hope that we show up tomorrow and play to the best of our ability, because on our day, if we're at it, I don't think many can live with us. But it's one of those games I hope we don't start slowly and let Forest come out and snap into challenges and get the City ground on their feet. You know, I hope we can quieten them down early doors. Harry said, gonna hurt to see Nunez leave. Love the lad. It's not gonna hurt for me, but it's going to be disappointment because I wanted him to be a success. We all did. But I think we've seen enough now, and certainly looks like the club have seen enough to know that, you know, it just isn't going to work out how everybody would have hoped, and I'm sure that includes Darwin Nunez, and maybe a little reset for him and his family, and, you know, get his confidence back would be the best thing for his career. Certainly, again, no bad feelings towards Darwin. Just, you know, disappointment, same as everybody else, that it didn't work out. Suleiman Khan, 70 million. 70 million what? That couldn't be the offer for Darwin. What? They turned down 70 million quid. I was told the other day, hand on heart, 50 million quid and they'd bite your hand off. And this is from a very, 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 very credible source. I was told that. And the phrase bite your hand off was mentioned. Now, all I can think is that whatever that 70 million is, they don't like the structure of the payment. That's all I can think, is that they don't like how it's structured. Because if they're... Edwards has been genius at selling players over the years, so, you know, if Edwards feels like maybe he can get the dough, you know, I want the club to get as much money as possible. Let me make this very clear. I want us to bring in as much money as possible. You know, I want the club to do well in this deal. But wow. Jesus, that's... I was expecting you to say 40, 45, something like that. But 70 million quid. This Fobby Rowler said, there's not a snowball chance in hell you get the 85 mil we paid from. Somebody offered 70, they should tear their hand off. Again, don't know the structure of it, but certainly a surprising headline number to see Liverpool turning down there. Wow. Sorry, that's actually astounded me. I mean, wow. Fucking hell. If he gets it, fair play to him. Again, I mean that sincerely. If Edwards can get upwards of £70 million, then well done to him. he's the best attacker we have. Darwin? No, he's not. I think Mohamed Salah might have something to say about that, bro. Right, again, real quick, I want to get back to the league kick because I know a lot of people may not have seen it if they weren't in at the start. Thoughts on this potential league kit that was doing the rounds? I love it. I think it's a great kit. Very reminiscent, of course, of the Torres Gerrard kit. Was it 09-10 or around then? I honestly, I'm in love with that shirt, and I hope that's the case because I will spend money on that. I'd rather Adidas gave it to me for free, but yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? You know, I've never had any sense of entitlement when I've started this journey into fan content or whatever, but if anybody deserves a free Adidas Liverpool jersey, it's this guy. I've been repping Adidas all the way through the Nike era, non-stop, unashamedly. So Adidas, you know, come on now, show the love. That'd be my dream crossover. Imagine Anfield Agenda cross with Adidas. Ooh. Obviously, I'm an athlete. Look at me. By the way, I have nearly lost 2 stone so far. So I'm feeling a bit healthier about that way as well. Craig, huge question. Do you think Diaz will stay because apparently he's rejected our contract? I've never known what's going on, Charlie, with the Luis Diaz situation. I've seen, was it Romano or a few others talk about, again, if it wasn't Romano, I don't want to be unfair to him, but I've seen others mention about negotiations maybe. I don't know. You know, I do know that his contract is 2.5 years to run. So if you're the club, you're still in a good position with it. But I also think it's fair to say that Luis Diaz deserves more money than he's currently on, which I believe is a little bit higher than some of the numbers that have been doing the rounds. But look, he definitely deserves to be over the 120 grand a week bracket. I think that's more than fair. Right, so we still have the poll up if you guys would like to take a second to vote in it. What position do you want assigning in? So 4 options: attacker, left back, centre back, midfielder. Please do keep voting. You got Darwin trying, getting nowhere. Trent's thinking he's bigger than the... look, I don't know what Trent's thinking, and that's the whole problem. Because in life, if you don't speak about something, that void gets filled whether you want it to or not. So if you don't speak about a situation when you're, let's say, in Trent's position, it's going to get filled by people who are going to be either working on the pro Real Madrid, trying to get that deal sorted agenda, or the Liverpool agenda, which has not really been very proactive in anything positive, because maybe there isn't positive stuff. I don't know. I've always said I have not got a clue what's going on. No, so that figure of 50 grand a week for Diaz, I believe it's higher than that from my understanding. Not a lot higher, but I do believe it is higher. Did I miss the David situation? Yes, and I said I spoke about it once and I'm not speaking about it again. I just needed to address it because I'm going to be asked about it when he isn't show, you know, after a game when there's no video. So I had to address it at some point. I wanted to give myself 2 days to calm down, but it's been done now and we move on. Right, what's this? Wow. That's some money. Again, while we've got over 2,000 people in the chat, I want to give a shout out again to Jamie Webster, being the class act that he is. Popping over to young Isaac Carney's home and have a little sing-song with him, and I'm sure you've probably seen it on social media, but Jamie's a class act through and through. You know, I've had the pleasure of interviewing him on a couple of occasions. I've seen how he's interacted with fans at live shows and all. He's a class act, and fair play to him for going around and no doubt making that young man's week. So well done to Jamie Webster on that one. So transfer deadline day report via TBR Football that Real Madrid are considering a move to sign Kyle Walker on loan to cover for Dani Carvajal's long-term injury. So if they're looking to that, maybe they feel they're not getting Trent in January no matter what happens, and maybe they want to bring Walker in as a short-term solution to their right-back woes. Ian Rhodes said, "Hey Craig, lovely to see Barca smash Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup." Yeah, it was great. Especially because everybody was, you know, even Barca fans I knew thought Madrid were going to win it. So the officials for tomorrow, Mark sent this on to me because we haven't spoken about it. And by the way, again, happy birthday to our chief moderator, Mark, and of course Luis Diaz, whose birthday is today. I don't think was this. Chris Kavanagh is the ref for tomorrow. Assistant Stuart Burke and James Manwaring. Fourth official John Bushy and VAR John Brooks. Assistant VAR Derek Eaton for tomorrow's game at the City Ground against Forest. But Walker's 34. It's only on loan, so they're looking at a short-term thing, I think, to the end of the season for Walker to just give Real Madrid a right back, really. So tomorrow, John, it's your birthday as well. Happy birthday, my man. John Watson, happy birthday. Tomorrow, the game's an 8 o'clock kickoff. We'll be live at 6:45 for the watch along of it tomorrow night. Of course, we'll have our match reaction, player ratings video and everything else you would expect on a match day, but just making sure you all know that it is tomorrow and it is an 8 o'clock kickoff time. Off topic, but is Fousey Tube actually a Liverpool fan? I don't know. All I know is that he's popped into our chat with a couple of comments on a few occasions, and that he's got 10 million subscribers. That's all I know. I'm not really big in the whole YouTube world. I don't have time to watch stuff, in all honesty. So I didn't even recognise the name until somebody told me about it, and then of course I'd seen wow. And it's always lovely when fellow content creators pop in and say hello like that. It always feels nice, you know, when you see them coming in to say hello to you or to make a comment in your videos and stuff. So he's certainly been in our chat on a few times, I can say that. Craig, isn't it a 7:30 kickoff? No, that's the game against Everton that's been rescheduled to a 7:30 kickoff. So the Merseyside derby that's been rescheduled for the 12th of February, that's a 7:30 kickoff. Royal Warzone said David O.C. Cop just tweeted about turning down the 70 million. I know it's a big number to be turning down, but you know the club must feel that there's more money to be had there, and if they can get it, great. Craig, in your opinion, do you think Tsimikas is good enough to replace Robbo? No, I don't, Charlie. I think he's improved this season, but I've never been convinced by Costas that he'll be the heir to Andy Robertson's throne. I'd sell him and keep Robbo and bring in a younger left back and kind of, you know, go between the two. Yeah, that's what I'd do personally. But again, no disrespect really intended towards Costas, who seems like an absolutely top fella. $70 million for who? Darwin. Al Hilal apparently have offered 70 million for Darwin. It's been rejected, according to reports breaking. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this poll because we've had over 1,500 votes on it. And the position that the majority of you guys and girls feel is the one that Liverpool most in need of a signing in is midfielder, with 44% of the audience thinking that that is the position Liverpool need to strengthen in. Next was left back with 24, centre back with 22, and last was attacker, which ironically is the position we're being most linked to in the window. Do you know what happened with the Alphonso Davies situation? Because we were meant to sign him. We were never signing him. I've said this so many times. You're not going to be signing a player who's already on about 300 grand a week and who will have loads of money thrown at him. He's never ever been a candidate to join Liverpool. So I don't know where you were reading we're meant to sign him, but we absolutely weren't. It's always been Real Madrid, Man United, or stay at Bayern that I've seen anyway. Right, I'm going to go and record this When or which streams did Fauci Tube drop in? He dropped in on a couple, more than one stream, but jeez, mate, don't ask me to remember. I do so many streams, I can't tell you. But it's definitely been more than one. That much I can tell you. Right, I'm going to go record the recap video and give you the very latest on the situation with Darwin Nunez and that offer. That's going to be coming out in the next 15-20 minutes or so, so please do keep an eye out for that one. And I will see you wonderful people tomorrow for the watch-along for the game against Nottingham Forest. A massive game in our season. If we win it, pressure's back on Arsenal's shoulders then for the Wednesday night North London derby, at home against Spurs. Thank you to everyone that joined us. If you haven't dropped a like before you head off, please do. And again, thank you for helping us go past 293,000 subscribers. The push and the countdown to 300k is on. Can we get there by the end of the month? Who knows, but we'll see. Thank you guys. Love you to bits. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.